Hello everyone. I am so glad to be here tonight to share my love of paper crafting with you, and I'm hoping that you're going to love it too. If you're here, I'd love to see who you are and where you're from. And also, if you do like the video, if you could leave me a comment, let me know. Maybe follow my page on YouTube and my blog. On the blog will be all the tutorials that for all that I do each time I have a Facebook Live. So, and it's free and it's for you to enjoy. So I want to start out tonight by saying that our new mini catalog, and I'm going to hold it up here, is out. And it is effective. It was effective as of the 1st of July, and it runs through the end of December. And for the next 2 months, July and August, we're having celebration. That is a wonderful promotion where if you spend $50 or for every $50 you spend, you get a free gift out of the celebration brochure. If you need a catalog or a celebration brochure, a mini catalog, an annual catalog, I will be glad to send you one. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would truly love to be your demonstrator. I'd love to earn your business. So tonight, what we're going to do is what I call the old and new mix-up. That is what we're going to be doing on the second Wednesday of each month. And in this old and new mix-up tonight, we're going to be using 2 stamp sets, one that is retired and one that is in the current catalog. So I'm going to flip my camera down and show you what we're going to be doing. So if you will bear with me, I'm going to get everything in order here, and I'm going to flip you this way. We're going to try it this way. Oh dear, it says no. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go up and I'm going to put you down. Okay, so tonight we're going to be doing 2 cards. We're going to be using this Little Piggy, which is the retired stamp set, and I'm not sure when this was available because I got it after it had been retired. This one is the new one, this Birthday Piggy cling stamp set. It is in the annual catalog on page 55. And I wanted to show you that. This Birthday Piggy right here down at the bottom. And it tells you exactly which stamp blocks that you need to use. And it gives you some examples of how you can use this in your making cards. So, what I want to do is I want to get started. I am going to be using this cardstock, this white cardstock that I have cut. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Okay, this is our card base. I'm going to be using this old, retired celebration, I believe. Yes, it is a celebration paper from the Ombre set in 2021. So this is part of our old. Okay. Then I will be using, well, here it is. This is in our annual catalog. This is Flirty Flamingo. And then, of course, we're going to have our basic white cardstock. That is the same as this card base. I'm going to give you measurements as we go along, but all of this will be on my blog by Friday. Okay, so what we're going to do, and I've already pre-cut this because for the sake of time. Okay, so here we have the O ombre, and it is, where did I put my notes? It's supposed to be on the back. The O ombre, this is cut down to 5 and a little less than 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down with our multi-purpose glue, just like this. All right, and I'm going to center this on our card base. Okay, then the next layer is going to be Flirty Flamingo. It is 4 5/8 by 3 1/4. Put that to the side. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this right here. I was thinking that I might go ahead and glue this to this because it is going to be the backing for the white. But I then remembered what Shelley Gardner, who is the CEO of the company, said, stamp first, paste later. So I'm going to do exactly that because that is very good advice. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using, first of all, this Little Piggy right here with a balloon, because this is going to be a birthday card. So I'm going to pull it out. It's right here. I like to keep my stamps inside of this that it comes in. It just keeps it from flipping and falling about. So I'm going to be using stamp block D. And I'm going to place this on, and it just does fit. And if you were worried, sometimes you can turn it this way, what I call cattywampus, but this is not going to work tonight. So we're going to do it this way. Okay. All right, then I'm going to take my Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I am going to load it up with the ink. And I'm going to place my piggy, I'm going to slide it right here against that to keep it from falling about. And I am going to place my piggy right here, like that. And there's my piggy. Yay. All right, the next piggy we're going to use is from the old set, and it's this one right here. It says This Little Piggy, but we're not going to be using that part, and I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing. Okay, so I'm going to place this to the side and put it, what I do is I place it on the inside of the stamp case, and I go back later knowing that if it's on the inside, then I need to clean it. So here is this Little Piggy. Okay. And I'm going to load it up just like this. And then I'm going to take a Post-it note. Actually, I'm going to take 2 because I'm going to double it to make sure it doesn't. Let's do it this way, like this. I'm going to cover up the words, but I'm not going to cover up. It's too heavy, so I need to cut this extra off and put that right there. That is, if I can get it to stay. Well, let's do this again. And now I'm going to do this. Oh, okay. What I had to do last time, and I was hoping that the sticky note would be sticky enough to do it, but it's not going to be something. I have to do a little bit of adhesive. And I don't like to do that because then I have to get the adhesive off of the stamp. Okay, so then I'm going to place this little piggy right here. And there we go. Okay, this one is from the old, this one is from the new. Let me put this stamp to the side so I won't lose it. Now, what we're going to be doing is using the alcohol stamping blends. And they work a little differently than just markers. The colors, it just sort of blends as you put it down. And you don't have to worry so much about marks being left behind. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use our S700. That is going to be for the mud, I believe. Now, I used, or maybe that's what we're going to use for the piggy. I changed. All right. So, I don't want to get my head in here, but I've got to be able to see. So, I'm going to color this in. Like this. And it just fills in without any marks or any swirls or anything like that. So beautifully. Okay, we need to do the back of his ear. Okay, there's one piggy. So now let's do this little piggy. We'll do the same thing. Right here. You see how it just blends right in? You don't have to worry about being so precise because it's going to do the work for you. The big thing is to just make sure you don't go out of the lines. Okay. And we're almost finished. Got to go back and do his little tail. And I'm going to show you in just a minute. Alrighty. Now, let's do our little tails. You sort of can just do little dots and it will fill in. All right, very good. Now, I want there to be just a bit of shadowing right here. So I'm going to go back with that right here and right here and a little bit on its tummy. And we're going to do a little bit right here, under his arm, maybe right here, and maybe a little bit right here. Okay, so we got our piggies colored. Now, for his ears, I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo, but I'm going to use the light color one, and I want to use the brush end. Now, with these alcohol markers, you have a brush end, and you have the bullet end. The brush end is much easier for coloring in. Okay, let's get his nose. Oh, and I forgot his little arm, so we'll have to go back and do that. Let's get right here. And right here. Okay, now this color picks up this, the Flirty Flamingo. Now, because I have chosen the Eau Ombre Bermuda Bay, thought maybe we could do a Bermuda Bay balloon. And here we go. Here is the light Bermuda Bay, which is what I'm going to use to color in this balloon. And light Bermuda Bay is pretty dark. We're going to leave that because we want it to be a bit lighter. That's where the sun is shining on it. Okay. And then I'm going to take Pool Party, light Pool Party, and I'm going to do this part right here. Then for the cake, I'm just going to color it in with Pool Party. It's going to have a pool party cake. All right, and then I'm going to take the dark Pool Party, and I'm going to do the plate, and I'm going to do the candle, and we'll also do a Flirty Flamingo flame. Okay, and then I'm going to take this Bermuda Bay, and I want to get the light one. And I want this end, and I am going to just follow these lines right here to give this cake a little bit of definition. Now, since we've got this part done, now the next part that we need to do is to do the mud. Okay, now I'm going to do that with S400, and it's pretty dark, but then mud is. They're enjoying themselves right here in the mud puddle where piggies love to be. There are a few sprigs of grass there. Okay, now I'm going to take the lighter one that we used before, the SU Stepping Up 700. And I'm sort of going to try and lighten this up just a little bit. This, even though it's a lighter color, it will sort of lighten it up, as you can see right in here. So it's not too dark. And then that combination of the two just looks a little more realistic. See how it's changing? That's the thing with alcohol markers. If you just wait, you'll see a big difference. Okay, so now, what I want to show you now is that in this Birthday Piggy, there's a butterfly. And I think putting a couple of butterflies out would make it really cute. So, what we have to remember though is that where the head is, okay, there's the antenna. All right, so I'm gonna put one here. I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. We'll put one up here. And then one maybe one right here. There. Okay. Now, let's color this the Flirty Flamingo, so we can make sure that we've got enough Flirty Flamingo in here to justify using this piece right here. So, here's our light Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to fill this in. All right, and then I'm going to take the dark Flirty Flamingo, and I'm just going to put a little bit here, and I'm going to do this part. Like that. Now, because I used it upside down, the antennae are going the wrong way. So I'm just going to use my micron, and it's a 005 pen, and just make the antenna go up. Those can be his legs. Nobody will know if you don't tell them. Alrighty. So, we have gotten all of this together. The next thing we need to do is we need to put it down on the Flirty Flamingo background. Okay, and this piece, by the way, was 3 1/8 by 4 1/2. Now, you will see on the back of this piece the coloring of the alcohol marker. Alcohol marker will bleed through. So don't plan to do it on the base of your card and then open it up and find that you have bleed through. You need to make sure that you cover it in some way. I could put it down on the Au Ombre without fear of it being seen. But this just brings the color out. Alright, so here we go. We're going to paste this down right here. And I'm using the multi-purpose glue, which is great. It dries clear and it dries fast. Okay. There we go. Now, we have to put on here, it's your birthday. And on this Birthday Piggy, here's the sentiment, it's your birthday. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to take out, it's your birthday. And I'm going to get a paper strip. There you go, girlie. My little kitty had to go out. Okay. And I'm going to use G. This is stamp block G. Now, I know this one is sort of squirrely. It doesn't want to stamp straight because of the way that this part was put on there. So it goes up a little bit. So I'm going to have to adjust for that by going down a tad. A little bit more. It's always best to practice. But on this, there, that's a good one. All right, now, let me put this back together. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to use the postage stamp punch, and it is in the annual catalog. It is on page 153. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off. I don't want that one. I want this one. Now, what I want to do is, this is way too big here, but I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to center it here, like that, and punch. Now, I'm going to have to use a sticky note in order to put this back in the punch. So I'm going to put my sticky here. I'm going to slide it back in. Okay, I got to put it farther over this way. Okay, slide it back in. I am going to get it, the spacing right, and then I'm going to line it up, these little notches up, like right there, so it won't punch more notches. And here I have my sentiment. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I am going to take, and it seems that I have so organized this afternoon, I put it away. I've got it right here. I'm going to take a piece of Flirty Flamingo. And this happens to be a big piece, but I am going to cut this down right here, like this. Okay. I'm going to paste this on to this Flirty Flamingo paper, cardstock. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to just have Flirty Flamingo showing. So I'm going to clip it off. On all sides. Okay, so now I've got a backing for my sentiment. I'm going to put my glue on it. And now I've got to figure out where I'm going to put it. Okay. I'm thinking if I line it up right there, or maybe I can bring it down, or maybe I should put it right here. Ooh, I like that. I think I'll put it right there. It's your birthday. And there we have the cute Little Piggy card. Now, I'll show you the one I did before. And it is, the pigs are a little bit lighter. And the sentiment is in a different place. And the butterflies are in a different place. But they're both very cute, adorable cards. Anybody would just love that. Okay, so we're going to move on to the second one. Now, in this one, we're going to also use our 5.5 by 8.5 cardstock scored at 4.5 as our card base. And we're going to turn it horizontally, just like we did before. I'm going to be using the In Color paper, designer series paper for this. And it's going to go down just right here. And it is 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down because it's going to be the backing for the image. We are going to have another Flirty Flamingo piece of cardstock behind that image. Okay, so make sure that this is even. It's not quite right up there. There. Now, this is ready. Okay. Now, this paper, you see, is in the annual catalog. And it is on page 135. So this is new. All right. Now the next thing we have is this backing. It's Flirty Flamingo. It's going to go down here. And it is 4 5/8 by 3.5. I'm just going to leave this right here for the moment because I'm going to stamp and then paste. Because if I messed up, I would have to redo all of it. Now, it seems that the piece that I needed for this has disappeared. So, I'm going to very quickly cut another one. I'm going to use my paper cutter. And this is a piece I had ink on it, and I was saving it. So what I'm going to do is I want this paper to go where I just have a little bit of backing here. So I am going to, how can I do this? Right here and right here and right here. All right. So this is right at 3 1/2, about 3 3/8. And then this one is 4 1/2. Okay, let's see, does this work? That works. Fantastic. And that will be paper for my sentiment right there. So I'm going to put this aside. Let's do our image. Now, with this image, we are going to be using this piggy and this little piggy. This is our old one. So, I'm going to get him. And we're not going to be using this part right here. So, I'm going to get this, which I'm probably have to stick down with adhesive in order to get it to not stamp. But I am going to ink it up. I'm going to turn this over now, and I'm going to cut this down just a bit. And I want it right there. All right. Let's see if this will work. Making me nervous. We'll try it. Nope, didn't work. It fell off. All right. Where's the adhesive? Right here. That's my roller. So I'm going to stick it back right there. And we're going to hope this piggy comes out. Ah, great. There it is. Okay. So next, that's the old one. Put this one over here so I can clean it later. We want the new one. So here is, boy, do I have a mess here. Slide this stuff over. Okay, we're going to be using this one. It has the little flowers also. Right here. Well, that is if I can get him up. Put that to the side. Now, still using the same block, which is a D. Alrighty. And so I'm going to put him right here. And there he is. All right, so now we've got these two. And I am going to use, this time, instead of that SU700, I'm going to try the Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to use the light first. So I'm going to color in our pig. And then you can let me know what you think, what you like best. I think I like this one better. But sometimes you just have to do it in order to know. Okay, this is the belly. I'll get his arm. Don't want to forget that this time. Right in his little tail. All right, now we'll do this piggy. I'm going to show you in just a second shading. All I have to do, you see how this is just blending in so smoothly? Okay, now I'm going to go to the dark Flirty Flamingo, or Petal Pink, I'm sorry. And I'm going to put just a little bit of shading here. Just a little bit underneath. And we'll get it right here, right there, a little bit under here. Now, what you can do is go back with your lighter one and just blend this right in. So it's not quite as noticeable. In that way. and just give it a little bit of time for it to dry. I need to just go ahead and... Now, if you do use this and you spend a lot of time coloring with it, you're going to need to use the Stays On ink, because it will make this ink, Tuxedo Black Mento ink, bleed. Okay, now you will see that we cut the stem of the flower off that he is carrying in his hand. And I'm going to once again get out my Micron 005. And I'm just going to extend that little stem right there. Okay, so let's color the flowers next. Now we're using this in color Tahitian Tide blue. So I'm going to get the lighter color out. And I'm going to just dab a bit on these petals because it just sort of smooths right out. And I hope my head's not in the way. This is my favorite color out of all the new in colors. I use it a lot. So much so that I'm going to have to buy some more cardstock. Alrighty, so I'm going to get the darker Tahitian Tide and just give these little flowers some depth. All you need is just a little touch right around the petals where it meets the center. Gives it a little more depth to make it look a little more realistic. And then I'm going to take the dark Daffodil Delight and I'm going to color the centers. Now this time I'm going to use the bullet end. And all I have to do is just lightly touch. Okay. Let's go back to his nose and his ears. That was Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to get the light colored one. Let's get his nose and his little hoofs. Just a little dab. Well, I got stuff running into everything. All right, so let's do the leaves. And with the leaves, I thought we could use this Parakeet Party. We're going to start out with the light one. This is one of the new in colors. And it is a lively green. And then we're going to take the darker Parakeet Party and just do it right here at the base of the leaf. Okay. Now one thing I would advise that I just did and I should not have is don't open it over your project because sometimes I want to splatter and then you got a mess. Now this one I'm going to just give a touch of green right here because we do have a little bit of some flowers blooming and we want to show that there's some greenery down there. Okay, so now we are ready to do the mud. We're going to use this Stampin' Blend, Stampin' Up! 700 and the SU 400. I'm going to take it and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color in with a darker one here. And it just feels right in. I'm telling you, it's like smooth as silk. It's just amazing. And we'll come over here to this one, and I'm going to do it here too. And I'm going to connect these up. Okay. Well, I guess we can fill that in just a little bit there. Okay, now I'm going to take this lighter one, and I am going to go back over it in places where I want to lighten things up. Now, another way to do this is to get the color lifter, and it will lift out color too. But what I want it to do is lift out color where we'll have two different colors that will give it some depth. I'll color that in. Alrighty, now I think we need to put some butterflies around. Let me see where my little butterfly is. Here it is. I'm going to open up this and put him back down. This will be, so let's put one up here. We can put one down here. And I'm going to turn him upside down and put one, say, right there. Ooh, I smudged it. I'll have to get my trusty little eraser for that. And it's a special eraser. You've seen me use it before. It is the Perfection 7058B Faber-Castell eraser. And sometimes while it is still damp, you can just quickly erase it away. And then other times you have to really work at it. And you have to go in different directions. So you'll get down into the fibers of the paper. I always keep one of these on hand because you never know when you're going to make a mistake, when you're going to have a flub up, and it is a lifesaver. See, it's already coming up. It's going to take a little bit more working with it, I think, than I've got time for. But it's almost gone. I will continue working on that after the live. And when I post it, hopefully there won't be any evidence of it. See if I can. I'll do this later. I'm so obsessive about things like that. Okay, I'll come back to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the butterflies in yellow. So I'm going to take the Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to fill in the wings. And notice I did turn this one upside down, but I'm going to fix it. Then here is the dark one. I'm going to fill in those back wings. Like that. Now, we're ready now to put our sentiment on. And clean up my spot here so I can find what I'm doing. Okay, now for this one, I wanted to use the Happy Birthday right here in Peaceful Moments. This is the stamp set in our annual catalog. Peaceful Moments, this is on page 29 in the annual catalog. So this is part of the new mix-up. And I wanted to use Happy Birthday. I think this is it. Yes, right here. Okay, put my butterfly and my piggy aside, and I'm going to get block B. Okay, so I'm going back in my ink, and I'm going to stamp it to see how it, ooh, it lines up great. All right, now you got to have a piece of scrap paper here, and I'm going to stamp it down. That looks pretty good. I'm going to do one more just in case. And I like this one better. Okay, this one seems to have inked up a little bit better. And what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to use this double oval punch. And it is in the annual catalog on page 154. And you see it has this and then this ribbed edge over here. But with this, I'm going to be, one second. It seems that, see how I did this. That one, where's the other punch? I guess I got rid of it. All right, I'm going to punch it here. It just does work. And there's Happy Birthday. So what we're then going to do is punch a piece of the in color paper, which is Tahitian pine, and I'm going to punch it with this one. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down on top of that, like that. So we're going to glue it down. Center it just perfectly around. All right, so now we're ready to start putting this on our card. I'm going to try one more time here and see if this works. I want you to see the magic of this thing. And it is working. It's going away, and it's almost gone. And just a little bit of patience goes a long way, because you have to wear these fibers down. And we're almost there, so I'll continue on with that. So this is going to go down onto this like that, so we'll glue it down. And you can see how it bled through. But in this case, we have no worries, because it is going to be pasted down on a Flirty Flamingo cardstock. All right, there we go. So then I'm going to put glue on this one. and center it, which is not quite right. There we go. All right, now we have this, and this looks like I just smeared a little bit. We're going to place that down right there, like that. But before I do that, I wanted to use this little embellishment, a little brad that I had in my stash. So this is old. Where it came from, I have no idea. Okay? In order to punch this, I'm going to put it right here. In order to punch this, I'm going to use my take your pick tool, and I'm going to get the pointed end, and I want it to go in about right there. So I'm going to just press until I get a hole here. And I do believe I have one. So now let's get this through it. Okay, that part went. We're still having to make a hole as it goes through. Let me see if I can do that a little bit better without bending it, making a mess. All right, so we have a pretty little flirty flower right there, right like that. So I'm going to bend the back of the brad down, and then I'm going to take one of these glossy dots, which also is in the annual catalog on page 143. And I am going to use, change this back around to the flat end, and I'm going to use one of the smallest ones, so I can get that up. And I'm going to place it right there in the center of that brad, like that. And then I'm going to glue this down. Come on, glue, don't go out. Don't let me lose you now. It is getting near the end. I think I'm going to have to order some more. All right, put a lot of glue on there because I want to make sure that this sticks. Put it down right there. Like that. And there we have our card. The old and the new. And on our other card, we have the old and the new. 2 cards in our old new mix-up. And I think they are 2 cards that anyone would be happy to get. I am so tickled with them. I think they're so pretty, so cute. They're actually adorable. Okay, so I'm going to lift you back up. And I'm going to say, fix you back. And I'm going to say that I hope that you enjoyed seeing how these were made as much as I enjoyed making them. They were so much fun. I had so much fun doing them and planning how I could put the 2 together. And I know there are many more stamp sets out there that we can do the same thing with, and I plan to do just that next Wednesday. Not next Wednesday, but the second Wednesday in August. Okay? So, next week, I can remember what it was. I know the last Wednesday of the month is going to be something new. new product that I'm going to showcase. And next week, I think, is a surprise. So you'll just have to tune in and see what I'm going to do. One never knows. I've enjoyed so much being with you tonight, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. And if you have, would you please comment and let me know that you do get something out of the videos, or if you don't, you can add that too. Just a response would be really great. So until next week, I want you to dream and create and post in the blog followers or on Facebook page underneath the event. I would love to see your creations. Remember to go to the blog to see the tutorials for these cards with all the measurements and the papers and all the tools and supplies that I used. It'll be there for you on Friday. So take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.